Hey everyone, is today Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hey, how's it going? Um, guys, what's going on? Good afternoon. Let me say hello to everyone really quick. We're 2 minutes in, so we're gonna do me and four notification gang, Sabrina Hankins, D Harold. Y'all are the bomb. Thank you so much. Getting here early. Sabrina says, I'm planning on going to Orlando to see my family and go see Mickey. We did that a couple of years ago, and I hope to get to do that again. Gosh, when I saw Cinderella's Castle coming through, we actually didn't take the monorail. We took the boat. From I guess like the visitor center on over to Magic Kingdom, I guess. And it was amazing. It was really amazing. Then I'm going to take a trip alone because I can't with customers at work. I need a break from solving people's problems. Wow. Okay. Sabrina, good luck with that. Have a good time. That's awesome. Steph M, how are you? Sabrina was asking the good questions. What am I cooking tonight? Maybe scallops. Also, how is mommy doing? Thank you for asking. She's doing much better. She had the double ear infection. She's doing really good. Thank you. Let's see. I love when you guys are talking to each other in the chat. That's awesome. Nikki Caters, how are you? I am me. How are you? Antoinette Rayford, what is going on, lady? Cheryl Waz, Anissa, Charisse, Capricorn Lady, Denise, and Natalie Sempero, how are you? Let's see. Pineapples, how are you? Dulce Beso, how are you? Maureen Jackson, what's going on? Latoy, how are you? Misha Danielle, hello. Toya Talk, what's going on? What's going on? Cat in the Hat, how are you? Guys, thank you to everyone who watched my get ready with me poll results. I just think that's kind of fun. I'm actually enjoying doing that more than addressing the comments. I am going to get to addressing the comments. I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm not even trying to be funny. Sometimes, you know how we all write in text? And I think sometimes when I read some comments, it makes complete sense to me. But when I have to read it out loud, it's sometimes very difficult. So I'm just going to be honest with that. It's not, so it kind of just, I don't know, I don't enjoy it as much. So that's just something I'm working on. But guys, I did want to talk about Porsha and Simon. Toya, I was listening to you today. I actually, my phone died. I came home and then I listened to the rest of it. Um, First, regarding Porsha and Simon, then I want to just kind of also simultaneously talk about this concept of high value woman, high value man. And that's again, dollar signs, not the praise and worship hands. Okay. We're not talking about morals, ethics, or anything like that at this moment. Okay. Not saying that high value men and women don't have morals and ethics. Um, doesn't everyone, okay, but high value as in dollar sign, not morals and ethics. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Okay, we're not talking about I just want someone to love on me and go to church with me on every Sunday. That's not what we're talking about. Okay. This is like where superficial meets superficial. This is where um beautiful bombshell, beautiful big booty, beautiful Miss Universe, beautiful, I don't know, created a lipstick on the Real Housewives meets billionaire. Okay. Now, any of that can happen, but at the end of the day, we're talking about Porsha and we're talking about Simon. Um, and Yeah, Anna, I saw the intro for that. Okay, so let's so Portia announced Portia and her intended have announced that they are together. Portia was working with a woman named Fallon. Okay, Fallon was on the Real Housewives, and Fallon is 31 years old. She's 31 to Portia's 39. Portia, I believe, will be 40 this year. Simon is, some are saying 54, some are saying 56. Nevertheless, Simon has 5 children. Fallon had 3 children. And they're calling it quits after a year and a half. So, like, what happened here? I don't have all of the details. I do have an article that I will get into in a minute that may give us some further explanation. But at the end of the day, you know, Portia really clearly said, hey, Fallon and I are not friends. Now, whether they filmed together on Real Housewives, whether they got to know each other, oftentimes when we hear about these marriages breaking up in in April, it doesn't mean that like in March the marriage fell apart. This could be the marriage fell apart after the first 6 months. I mean, oftentimes we know when a relationship is not working out. And any of you who have been married know sometimes, you know, like the minute you got home from the honeymoon, that the wedding is not, that the marriage will not work, right? Um, so it's quite possible that this woman who's been with this guy, I think since either 20, who's been often, I guess, dating this guy since like 2016, 2017. She's 31. So she's been with this guy off and on since she's about 26, 27 years old. Um, Look, whether he's good looking or not, I think one of the things, ladies, that I'm not going to say we have to get away from. It's an added benefit if your man is good looking and you find him attractive, as is the woman that he is with, that he finds her attractive. But at the end of the day, I think to most of us women who can be honest with ourselves, who say, you know, um, yeah, I go for looks. But, you know, remember Dr. Phil, how he always used to say, well, how is that working for you? Is the big sausage, is the good looking, is the bald head, is the big chest and the pecs? How is that working for you? Is that paying the bills? Is is he taking care of you as a woman should be taken care of, as the woman that that maybe from your level of expectation, are you being cared for as your mother was taken care of? I mean, are you in a better situation as your mom or your grandma, or are you kind of setting a pace in kind of a hypergamy standpoint where you are marrying outside of your caste or your class or your tax bracket, however we want to put it. In the United States, we don't necessarily really talk about caste systems or casting or class as much. I mean, we might say someone is low class, high class. What does that really mean? That's kind of perception. If we're being honest, we know what low class is and we know what a high class individual might be. But yeah, in the United States, we don't really have that. It's kind of like a perception rather than a rule. But in any case, people should know their worth, and people know when someone is in their league, out of their league, etc. Right? Um, Porsha is a beautiful woman. Porsha is not unfamiliar with dating Nigerian African men. Remember all of the controversy between Cordell and in between her being married to Cordell and her being involved with Dennis. There was always that rumor with Kenya about the African guy who bought her the Bentley, right? So we heard Fallon got a Bentley for her birthday last year. Well, allegedly, some African guy had bought Porsha that Bentley years ago. Phaedra was still on. I mean, this could be going back 4 or 5 years ago now, maybe more. Um, but yeah, I mean, high value women, yeah, large, extremely extravagant gifts are not out of the ordinary. And a man with a lot of money buying a car, even a supercar, yeah, that's not really a big deal if you've got $1 billion. And I don't know if you guys saw this recently, and I can attach the article to I'll put a link in my community page. Kim Kardashian has said that her Instagram DM is full of billionaires. There are men lined up to take her out. And why? Because she's a rich woman who's beautiful, who has children. I'm not going to say what Kevin Samuels says is not true regarding mothers and children and the amount of children. We're talking about a different level of high value woman here. We're talking about a high value woman who happens to be a little older, has her own money, has her own children, but yet and still to a certain set of men is highly desirable. Okay. And it's not necessarily because of her money. She has a very powerful mother in the entertainment industry. Kris Jenner is a high value woman, and she has high value daughters, all wealthy, all business owners, all highly sought after, all seen as beautiful. Also, all women that don't mind dating who they want to date. Have we heard the story? Basically, Larsa Pippen was out here, Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, was out here talking, and she was, I guess I don't know if she was selling a book, whatever the case might be. She was talking about, she was commenting on Tristan and Khloe. Well, turned out Larsa actually bought Tristan to a dinner. That is how Khloe met Tristan. And basically, she was on a date with Tristan, and next thing you know, he was seeing Khloe. Why am I telling you guys this? At the end of the day, a lot of this type of group of people who are tastemakers, people who have lots of money, a lot of these relationships sometimes are very interchangeable. It's not to say that there is not monogamy and people are not faithful and not loyal, but once you are done with someone, oftentimes people are done. And I see what you're saying about Van Jones. Van Jones is not necessarily someone that I would consider like super high on the list of high value men. Maybe he is a high value man, but also I don't know what his complete background is, but I'm going to speculate Van Jones is one of these guys who may get to the altar but has never really closed the deal. I don't know his background enough, but I don't know that a man, my perception of who and what he is in terms of where he is in the spectrum of wanting to be a married man, I don't know that he wants a woman with 4 kids. Let's just be honest. And Kim Kardashian has a lot more money than Van Jones. So I just think that that was just a talking point for Van Jones to get himself up in the news. It's almost like Vivica Fox continuing to talk about 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, Kim Kardashian is no longer in his league. That woman has a lot of money. She has her own money and she's got Kanye's money. I mean, we're talking about in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Van Jones is a TV personality. He's entertainment. He's the help. Now, is he the help to me and you? Probably not. I mean, he's a rich guy. But to a Kim Kardashian, to a high value woman of a certain stature, yeah, he was just trying to get himself in the papers. I think that's just me. The type of man who's going to want a Kim versus a Porsha may actually be the same thing. Portia's almost 40. Kim is 40, 41. These women come with a certain level of power and influence, which are things that are on the male high value list. But the women's high value list is completely different, guys, because what we know that men want is not the same as what is what we're looking for, right? At the end of the day, you know, it doesn't matter that Portia's boyfriend is good looking or not. He's got deep pockets. And if we know anything about Porsha, Porsha has grown up in a family of power and influence. Whether they were wealthy, I don't really know, but her grandfather being a civil rights leader, a known name in Atlanta, Porsha grew up with a certain amount of privilege that set her apart from other people. Oh, that's Hosea Williams' granddaughter, right? So when you are automatically set apart, people, I mean, so what was one of the first things that we learned about Porsha when she first came to Real Housewives? I'll never forget that day that Kenya was getting dressed and she was coming to Portia's party at her house, right? It was her birthday and she was also doing something for a charity, right? People came to the event. 1, it's Porsha. 2, it's the Hosea Williams Foundation. 3, it was her birthday. Her high value ex-athlete, retired athlete husband is presenting her, I remember, with a beautiful Chanel bag, along with a party with all of her friends in a tent with catered food and good music and a band, right? So she's celebrated. Yeah, so things about a high value woman that differ from a high value man. So we'll keep talking about Porsha and Simon, but these are the things that make Porsha high value. She's attractive. She's appealing. Just like Homeboy the other day, I don't know if you guys were listening or not. Yesterday I mentioned how even Olivia's boyfriend called himself Prince Charming. Yeah, we don't know if he's Prince Charming or not, but this guy has tagged himself with having a certain amount of charisma, okay? Attractive and appealing. Appealing could be charisma, personality, maybe a little bit funny. Appealing, likable, okay? She's comforting. She knows how to make home, okay? Now, home as in put your feet up, I'll make you some tea. She may know how to fry some chicken. Even Kim was on Instagram making struggle fried chicken for Kanye, okay? She tried. She was doing her best, right? Comforting, providing those meals, that love, that inspiration. A woman who is high value, not just to this world, but, you know, in the sense of being a woman of what men see as someone who I want to marry, someone who I want to be with. And a lot of this stuff is going to be counter to any feminists out here, any modern women who are thinking, well, you know, like, haven't we left that behind? It's 2021. Yeah, but we still believe in this old this old tradition called marriage, and marriage really hasn't changed very much, honestly. Men become very traditional the minute that they get that ring on their finger. Whether they conform to tradition or not, men want their wives to act a certain way. Even Gucci Man and Keisha Kior. Okay, you know what I'm saying? She can be in as much sheer stuff as possible. I doubt she's going to be bouncing on anybody's laps in the strip club, whether she's doing an appearance or not. And that's if she's even still doing appearances now that she's had his child. You see what I'm saying? She's attractive, she's appealing, comforting. She provides a home, a quiet sanctuary. She is someone who is nurturing and mothering, someone who has discernment, someone who kind of knows what they should be doing, someone who is strategic, somebody who eyeballed the billionaire, okay? Someone who knows, yeah, looks like money, smells like money, okay? And disciplined. So someone who sets out to do something and gets it done. So look at a couple of really good examples. If we're going to use Real Housewives, for example, for a couple of different things, let's look at Beverly Hills. So any of you guys who watch Beverly Hills, Lisa Vanderpump, right? Lisa Vanderpump was always plugged in with all of these friends, right? So we remember, do you guys remember Muhammad Hadid, the friend, the former husband of Yolanda? Okay. So Yolanda had been married to Muhammad. Yolanda had 3 kids with Muhammad. Yolanda was practically damn near best friends with his new wife. Okay. So Bella Hadid and Gigi Hadid, that's her dad. Yolanda is the mom. Yolanda was married to David Foster, one of the most prolific songwriters. He wrote lots of Whitney Houston, very wealthy man, right? What happened with Yolanda? Yolanda made a beautiful home. Remember, we all knew that beautiful glass walk-in refrigerator that she had. People would walk in. She had the table full of beautiful lemons on the Carrara marble top kitchen. All of those things, right? She made a beautiful home for her husband. Remember what happened to her? Remember she got Lyme's disease and she was completely fatigued. And within a season, David Foster was divorcing her. And like 6 weeks later, he married somebody else. Okay. This stuff is real. And I mean, this type of set of people, it does seem a little bit incestuous, if you will, not so much relation wise, but in terms of friendships. Yeah, you're done with him. Okay, I've got next, that kind of thing. So the fact that Porsha and Simon were in a similar social circle because now Porsha was working with his wife, that just gave her, again, additional access to a level of man that she was very interested, that she obviously has an interest in. Cheryl, at the end of the day, no matter what Porsha knew or didn't know, that's Hosea Williams' granddaughter. And whether she is dingy as a bag of rocks or she is super smart for pretending, a wealthy man is not going to marry you because you have a PhD. Okay, if you watch Kevin Samuels, I think that's the one takeaway. A PhD isn't going to get you an MRS. Okay, it's other qualities outside of your accomplishments, because a wealthy man is not marrying a woman because she knows how to make a dollar. He's marrying you oftentimes because the way you make him feel, you make him feel special, you make him feel good, you make him happy. And he wants to lock you down. He doesn't want to share you. Toya, when I was listening today, some people were saying, well, they felt like Porsha, like maybe this was too fast, maybe this is too quick. No, because a man who knows what he wants, who wants to lock it down, who wants to make you his, yeah, he'll marry you. And if the fallout is it doesn't work, okay. But yeah, I don't have time to be flying all around the world to come find you. I want you with me. So yeah, you do what you have to do for work, But at the end of the day, yeah, you're going to be with me. Exactly, Toya. She has a very feminine energy. And at the end, most of these men, even if you look at Orange County, okay, even look at Atlanta, but let me look Orange County. So you've got the Dubrows, right? So remember Heather Dubrow and Dr. Dubrow, right? Even Adrian Malouf, who comes from the hotel franchise, okay, in Las Vegas, her husband, because you know they did those botched makeovers, right? Dr. Dubrow and and Adrian Malouf's husband. I can't think of his name. Anyway, long story short, these women are not stunners, okay? But these are women who make beautiful homes. They have mucho kids. Heather Dubrow, I think, had 4 kids with Terry. Um, Adrian Malouf, I think 3 sons, 4 sons. Um, Very wealthy woman, but what did we see from her in Real Housewives? She's all mom. She's mom, and it's like mom, wife first, businesswoman afterwards. Okay. A lot of these women have their businesses. Oftentimes they are working on their businesses because they're kind of segueing older kids, and they're trying to find something to do because their men are very busy. Okay. So attractive, appealing, comforting, discerning, disciplined. So oftentimes you see women who are healthy, they are fit. It's not to say that some of these wealthy men don't have heavy wives, aren't with large women, but for the most part, when you are trying to buy these beautiful gowns and you want to buy them and you have access to buy the most beautiful clothes, it is an incentive to get your weight under control so that you can look just as expensive and as rich as you actually are. Or you commission these designers and brands to make clothes for you, and it is what it is, and you just pay for it, and you get it made couture, right? Is that not what that is? um so there's an exception to every single rule. um as you stated, Toya, what I see in Porsha also has that exuberance. Porsha, even when she's mad, she seems happy. She's got dancing eyes. She's a very happy woman for the most part. Men don't want to be with a schlump. Men don't want to be with someone miserable. I say that all the time about Jasmine. Jasmine is going to send Chris out the door. Nobody likes to look at a sourpuss. Nobody wants to be with somebody who's never happy. Nobody wants to be with someone who's always freaking complaining. Nobody wants to be with someone who just can't pick their own self up. Can you hold it down? I'm going on a trip. I've got these 10,000 people who rely on me to clock in and get these paychecks popping um, once, twice, 3 times a month, depending on where in the world his businesses are. Okay. These are people that have the weight of townships, cities, and small countries on their shoulders. These people, if you got $1 billion, $1 billion+ you are feeding and you are funding and you are responsible for a lot of people. Okay? So it's important that, yeah, you are taking care of home, because any decisions, any bad stuff going on at home, yeah, that's to the detriment of his business. That could be to the detriment of your business, because keep in mind, and we talked about this before, guys, and I did share it on my community post. Anna, you were with me. I did a panel conversation on high value men, and high value men, you'll notice the list is very different. High value men on the low side are making at least 6 figures, but high value, as in the type of man we're talking about right now, this guy is in the 7, 8, 9 figure stratosphere. Okay, this guy is not. This guy's he's a millionaire multiple times over, if not a billionaire. Okay, which maybe he's not a billionaire. He's got a lot of money. Okay. In terms of performance, yeah, he's got the proven track record. And, I heard a couple of people saying, well, he's been married before. Um, you know, Look, oftentimes, have you ever seen a divorced man have a problem finding another wife? Have you ever seen a divorced woman have a trouble finding another husband? Let's look at Eddie Murphy and Nicole Murphy. Eddie Murphy has been married multiple times. He had either 5 or 6 kids with Nicole Murphy. What was Nicole Murphy out doing? Yeah, she was out catting around with Antoine Fuqua, right? Um, what's her name's husband? From Waiting to Exhale, I can't think of her name, but um, Nicole Murphy was out here doing the most. And we know that she was with Michael Strahan. Her and Michael Strahan had a very long engagement that never turned out to be anything. She wasted a lot of years and time with that man. Um, if you are engaged, guys, being engaged, I'm just going to take a sidestep. Being engaged is not a placeholder. Being engaged means you are planning a wedding. Okay. If you are modest means and you need to save your money and it takes you 2 years to get married, you should be doing something every single month, sitting down and being in the mind frame that you are getting married. If you are engaged right now, there's no date set and there's no wedding planning happening, you are on ice. Okay. And if you talk to your fiance, your man, and he is not trying to plan a wedding, you need to be having some conversations about what is next, because just being engaged means nothing. Being engaged is the time that you spend planning a wedding. Okay. Michael Strahan spent a lot of time wasting Nicole Murphy, a mother of 6's time. And now she's out here being a menace to other women by meeting up with their husbands in Italy. Okay. That's what happens. But again, she's a high value woman. She's beautiful. She may have taken her credibility down a little bit because that discernment factor, that was not a good look. Okay. So, but people forget, we have short memories, right? But not on these YouTube streets. But yeah, Nicole, I'm sure she will recover from it because she meets a lot of the criteria of a high value woman. Nothing on that list says that she's wealthy, but we know she's got some coins. She's Eddie Murphy's ex, and Eddie Murphy, I'm sure, cut her a nice big check after all the years of marriage. But what did Eddie Murphy do? He went out and got himself another wife, right? And had some more babies, right? Yeah, wealthy men don't care about having babies, okay? It's poor men, poor and broke men. They care about having babies. You know why? Because babies cost. And most men who are not necessarily in full control of their legacy don't want their legacies all over, spread all over the place. They would like to have their children up under one roof. So a lot of men don't want babies here, there, and everywhere. I mean, it happens. But the type of guy who's got all of his children under multiple different roofs, this is not the guy that we're talking about right now. We're talking about men who may or may not ideally want multiple children with multiple women, but don't necessarily care about having additional children because they can afford it. They can afford it. That's the one difference. I think there's a whole economic thing with men and babies. And that's probably for a whole nother conversation, but I think that point there. So we're looking at money. We're looking at performance, and this is coming from Kevin Samuels, and this is what he's saying in terms of his consulting business, his rule of thumb. This is high value, and I'm talking value as in dollar sign, not morals, ethics, religion, anything like that. Okay. Money, performance, established track record, known in their industry. Like, you're an A player, you go to President's Club, you are some sort of hotshot at such and such firm. Yet you might not be making $1 million yet, but you are, just like when Michelle Obama said that she was informed when she was at the law firm that there was a hotshot intern coming by the name of Barack Obama, and that she was going to be training him. What did they tell her? No, they didn't tell her, oh, you have an intern coming from Harvard. They said, you have a hotshot who's coming, who is like the next newest They played him up because not to entice her, but that was the talk since he'd been in college, that he was the next newest greatest. And this is what they told Michelle Obama, or Michelle at the time, Michelle maiden name. This is who you are going to be in charge of as an intern. And she talks about in her book, Becoming, she made a decision. Like, not so much was she going to dim her light, but knowing, like, this guy is special and this is going to be something that I hadn't planned. But had she not gone to all of the illustrious schools that she had and gotten the education she wouldn't have been in the place to meet the young Barack Obama. You guys following me? All right. So money, performance, group acceptance. Like, you have a peer group of similar, like-minded people on a level set. Guys, let's go ahead. Anyone who forgot to hit the like button, if you're getting anything out of this, if this is like resonating with you, if you find this interesting, if you know, whatever you find it, if this is something that you are enjoying, I would love for you to go ahead and hit that like button, because I know it can't be reflecting accurate. Because I know not that many people would be in here listening to this if they didn't have an interest in this, because this is like poison to some people, because this is not how they think, and this is certainly not how they're operating, and that's okay. Jessica, exactly. You got to be in the place. And you know, some people may say, well, that was a waste of a Harvard. No, it wasn't. You know why? Because she has birthed two beautiful young women who are highly intelligent and will be high value. Just for the sake of, your father is a former president of the United States. Both your parents are Harvard grads. Both your parents are attorneys. Both of you are very well educated, beautiful. I mean, this is a high value woman. And even Michelle Obama's mother at the time, she was a school teacher. Her father did labor. Her father, I think he was a garbage man, right, in Chicago, and her mother was a professional. And look at the hypergamy of it all. I mean, whether Barack Obama married up in the sense that he went from a single parent household to a two-parent household of educated Black folks, and he came from a single mom situation, and but these two, like, jumped from one particular kind of class level, if you will, just by virtue of education, training, and being known. You know, Barack Obama came with a buzz. And when he came with that buzz, he was always highly sought after. So from getting involved early into politics, etc., this is someone who at a very early age was tagged as high value, right? Right, Cheryl. I think, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is this: as a woman who is spending a lot of time and energy, and her parents also money, in being educated, it's not so much that she gave up her complete career, but at a certain point she did give up her career. But she also knew that his career was going to surpass hers if the predictions and what was being talked about actually happened. That her career would take second, and her career would then become almost like life motherhood experience and being supportive to a very powerful man. Okay? So group acceptance and a viable network. Did you ever guys watch The Apprentice and you see these people get on The Apprentice and it's time to raise money and there are people who did not have one number to call? Do you remember that? Do you remember? I'm trying to think of a couple of people who like that was kind of like one of the most embarrassing challenges that they would do um, was when they would. Jessica, yeah, you guys can call in. Let me just get through this list because if I start calling in, I'll never get through it, but I'm almost done. Okay. Um, on The Apprentice, when they would have the the challenge where people had to come up with money for a charity, their individual charities, it was like a disaster. There were some people who had nobody they could call. There were some people that raised little to no money, and there were some people who just they could just get it. They have the connections, they know the people. There's people that all they have to do is call and it's done. Because that's the type of circle that you navigate in, whether it's, even if you're in kind of like a mom co-op, Lisa calling and saying, I need you to go grab so-and-so from school this afternoon for me because I'm stuck in a meeting. And your friend who is a stay-at-home mom, who also works, but maybe this isn't the day that she leaves the house and she's going to pick her kid up. And she does not have a problem with picking yours up too. That is in your network. And it's done. It's not, here comes Lisa calling again. Because you know what? In that co-op of moms, yeah, Lisa might do the most for her friends. And this person might do the most for her. Or because maybe your husbands work together, you guys don't mind being each other's backups. Things like that. I mean, that's what networks do, okay? And the group acceptance, it's kind of like thinking about Married to Medicine, if you will, where you've got the wives who all have medical careers, some actually in medicine, some Quad was pharmaceutical sales. Toya is a wife. I think she was a salesperson or something at once upon a time for pharmaceuticals as well. But nonetheless, these women are all married to doctors. Our doctors, well, Dr. Jackie's husband wasn't a doctor, but Dr. Jackie's a doctor. That group acceptance, right? I think early on watching Married to Medicine, there was a part of Married to Medicine where I almost felt like Dr. Jackie didn't feel like she belonged. I don't know if you guys remember early on. Dr. Jackie, the gynecologist who does not have any kids. I think we dealt many seasons with Dr. Jackie dealing with the reality that a child may not come for her and her husband. I think her husband had one daughter, and she was very influential in the young lady's life. However, Dr. Jackie, who spent lots of time delivering many people's babies, never got a chance to have her own. And I think that she, couple 3 seasons, I would say, and it may still come up now. I just don't watch the show like I used to. It would come up quite a bit. Also because I think of her breast cancer situation. She'd had a bout with breast cancer. So she'd had some troubles. And like I said, she had to deal with that. But high value, nonetheless, Dr. Jackie, because your worth is not determined by having babies. That's definitely not on the list. She still, had a very high value man. I think her husband was a former basketball player. But nonetheless, that's not what our value and worth is determined on. Because being able to make home doesn't necessarily mean having a bunch of babies, because that just might not be what your relationship is what's in the cards for that relationship. But so for a man, money, performance, so proven track record, group acceptance, a network, visibility, somebody who isn't just known, but is seen, someone who is in the social network, the social scene. So here we go back to Porsha and Simon, who even knows who this guy is? Maybe in Nigeria, he might be hot shit, big deal, who knows? But the reason why we know Simon now, the reason why he is visible now is because he has a Instagram model wife who just came on Real Housewives. Now, Porsha could have known who he was before. We don't know. We know Porsha has dated Nigerian men previously, so she very well may know this gentleman. But he became closer into her circle when Fallon came to the show. Okay. And I have no idea who Simon is. Simon is a wealthy Nigerian who was married to Fallon. It's GOUBADIA, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but or GOUBADIA. He's Nigerian. Any Nigerian folks who want to help me with that pronunciation, it would be much appreciated. But Fallon was on Real Housewives this season. She's married to a guy named Simon. They announced their divorce in April. And Simon and Porsha, one of Fallon's coworkers, has now taken up with Fallon's soon-to-be finalized ex-husband. Okay? Does Fallon care? Maybe not. Fallon is estimated worth $20 million. She has her own petroleum logistics company, along with whatever check I'm sure her husband is going to be dropping for her. She has 3 children, one of which she had at 17. But again, keeping in mind, she's a beautiful woman, and that goes a long way because men are not marrying. Most men with money or most men who are decent are not necessarily marrying you for what you have. They are marrying you because they want to take care of you. If you have a great job and you have an amazing career and you make a lot of money, that might be a great thing. But that more than likely is not the reason why a guy who is high value or of a certain type of substance is going to marry you. It's just not really the case. So Porsha knew Simon first. That's what they are saying. So I don't know. I mean, that's what they're saying. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm sure they didn't just meet a month ago. I think Porsha said they started their relationship a month ago, but Porsha may have already known this guy. So it would be interesting to know what the complete story was. But the fact that Simon isn't like the most great looking guy on the face of the earth, yeah, that doesn't matter to Porsha. Was Cordell hot? No. We don't know what the other African guy looked like that Porsha dated, because remember they said that that first Bentley that Porsha had, yeah, that was purchased by the African guy that she was dating, not this one, not Simon. But remember, there was that whole thing with Kenya Moore saying, you're dating an African, you're dating some African billionaire. Yeah, Cordell was not the best looking guy, but Cordell was a athlete. And Cordell probably wanted a woman of a certain caliber, or so he thought, some arm candy, trophy wife, whatever you want to call it. The fact that a guy has been lucky in love, not lucky in love, what they will rate a high value man on, more so is not so many how many marriages, but okay, you've been married a few times and failed. That's okay. Men aren't necessarily judged on they've had 5 wives. Like, I don't think anybody cares about that. Men don't also get judged so much on bankruptcy. If you are a businessman, look at our former president. Has Donald Trump not been open and obvious about all of the bankruptcies that he went through in real estate? Business dealings that are interesting, to say the least, right? Were there not concern? I mean, we had I know people would always say we need a businessman in the White House. Well, we'll see how that worked out. But at the end of the day, having somebody who has been truly a businessman in the White House became very complicated as he was entering the White House. I mean, all of business dealings, the hotels, the governments, all of that stuff, guys, right? But the main thing for a high value man also is that he has failed, because through failing we learn lessons, right? So if you failed at marriage, divorced, if you failed at business, you may have had bankruptcies. Hey Chanel, how are you? Victoria, I'm not sure what you're referencing. And a unaccredited college. Who went to an unaccredited college? Are you talking about Porsha? Who are you talking about? Especially wealthy Nigerian men, they get many passes. Um, I think wealthy men just get passes, period. Maybe wealthy Nigerian men get passes. I don't know. I think wealthy men get passes, period. Wealthy people get passes, period. When someone makes you feel less than, um, even in a positive or negative way, um, sometimes you find yourself giving deference, and it was just kind of a knee jerk reaction. Didn't he go to Wharton School of Business? That's part of NYU. Oh, Trump University. Okay. Well, are we even talking about that? Lake T 234. I'm sorry you missed kind of what we're talking about, but that has nothing to do with the conversation. We are not discussing Trump University. And as far as Donald Trump's education, I think he graduated from Wharton School of Business, which is part of NYU. Um, And on top of that, yeah, being high value, really and truly, honestly, you've heard me mention nothing about education, because high value, as in what we are discussing, has nothing to do with education, because we all know this. Um, Mark Zuckerberg, he never finished college, but he's got something that a lot of you guys use all day, every day, and that's called Facebook. Okay. This Apple computer that I'm sitting on, this Apple iPhone, yeah, another college dropout. Okay. There's plenty. One of my favorite singers. Yeah, I don't even know if she got her GED. I know she dropped out of high school, and that would be Beyonce, right? Education is a key to hypergamy, as we discussed Michelle and Barack Obama. Okay. But if you've already got money, Donald Trump came from a wealthy family. So you know what I mean? Like, he's really not part of this conversation. The part of the conversation where I injected him into it was really as it relates to bankruptcies. Yeah, bankruptcies didn't stop him from becoming president of the United States. Okay. And there may have been others. All right. Um, on top with failing and having the wisdom from failures, i.e., divorces, bankruptcies, being fired. I don't know how much any of you guys know about Howard Stern, but Howard Stern may still or used to talk quite a lot about being fired from almost every single radio station in New York. Okay. Um, Failures. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not a badge of honor to never have a failure, to have been perfect at everything. But when you have not been perfect at everything, who better than that person that knows how to fix things because they have failed at things? They've been fired. They've lost money. They've mishandled money. They've mishandled relationships. So these are people, those failures give experience and lend to their credibility within their social group, their network, and sometimes even visibility. This failed relationship of Simon's, this impending divorce, guess what that gave him? That gave him visibility. So whether Porsha knew him early on or not, he was already in Porsha's network of people. This gave Simon now an hour here and on many other YouTube channels today, and is the topic of conversation. Okay. That quote unquote failure is giving him additional visibility. That makes him high value, okay? Porsha, high value. Um, and also just the change, seeing the changes. Yeah, we saw Porsha at the beginning as the doting, very naive. Where did the trains come through? Underground Railroad, ingenue, who stepped onto the Real Housewives of Atlanta, very dingy. And we have slowly seen her mature. We've seen her various different jobs. We've seen her be very active in her social life. We know that her mom doesn't play around. Her mom is a very attractive woman who clearly Porsha probably gets some of her game from. Okay. Um, yeah, these are not women who are playing around. So, yeah, Porsha doesn't stay single very long. We all have a friend that doesn't stay single very long, don't we? If it's not you. If you are someone who does not stay single long, I dare you to put your hand up. If you are someone who's got that friend that does not stay single long or ever, yeah, put your hand up. There are just some people who have the knack for, yeah, one in, one out. Okay? One out, one in. They have no problem. They never let any grass grow under their feet. They are able to move on quickly and in a meaningful way. So, yeah, guys, I mean, this was definitely a topic of conversation today, with Porsha moving on with Simon. I mean, to me, that's just how we see it happen all the time. I mean, the wealthy date the wealthy or the famous or the visible. The wealthy date the beautiful, all of that. Um, it is very superficial. Whether you're for it or against it, it's very superficial. Whether you are, um, it's, but people marry for power, people marry for money. What's Portia doing? I don't see Portia ever being with a broke guy. I don't think that that's part of her DNA. I just don't. I don't think that her mother, I think it would be one of those things. Yeah, we don't believe in that. Like that. I don't see that ever happening. Portia will always be somebody who is well taken care of, whether it's to the point of um, ex-husbands or just having amassed enough wealth that at a certain point, yeah, she's good financially, and then she can kind of really just do more of what she wants, almost like a Madonna. Okay. If you guys didn't see the Sugar Mamas video that I put out earlier this week, where it profiled 10 women, including Britney Spears, I mean, she's dating a fitness instructor. Britney Spears is worth over $60 million. But did she start out this way? Yes, because she married Kevin Federline, a dancer. Okay. Stole him from Shar Jackson. We talked about this a few days ago. So yeah, it happens in the reverse as well, where we see the sugar mamas. In this case, Portia is certainly not a sugar mama. Um, Simon, is he a sugar daddy? I don't think so. I think Portia is just at a point where she makes her own money. She's not destitute. She doesn't necessarily need this guy, but she doesn't mind having a wealthy husband. And I could totally see her having a baby with him. Absolutely. Okay, let me put down the link. I know, Jessica, you wanted to call in. Any of you guys who have comments, you are more than welcome to hit that link and tell me what you think about this topic. I don't understand her wanting to marry when she's clearly bisexual. Are you talking about Portia? Deandra? You talking about Portia? Well, look, he might like that aspect of her. He might have said, look, I see what's going on. can you commit to one person? I mean, I just because someone's bisexual, I don't know that that makes them a cheater. So if she knows how to control herself, then if she's bisexual, I would just imagine, like, can you control yourself? Like, do you have to sleep with everybody? Just because she likes to sleep with women, I don't know if that means that she would cheat on her husband with a woman. It may be that she has experienced that, but maybe that's not necessarily the lifestyle that she's going for. Maybe she's not looking for a woman. I mean, bisexual clearly means that you are interested in both sexes, but maybe I don't know that she's interested in being in a lesbian relationship. She may just be interested in women sexually, possibly, or she may be interested in both potentially. But as far as who she would marry, maybe she's only interested in marrying a man. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I just pinned the link above. It seems weird. Hold on. I've changed my whole approach to dating. I only date wealthy men, and it's understood that I must be taken care of. Tiffy, look, let's just say the opposite. If you have only been dating broke guys and guys that you have to mother, guys that you always have to work with, make excuses, how has that worked? And it's not to say go from broke to billionaire, but know your worth. I think sometimes we as women see opportunities and we hear so much about stop being so picky, stop being so that, yeah, we stop being picky on the wrong guy. If you know that somebody can't take care of you today and won't take care of you tomorrow, why would you even bother? If you are going to have to spend money to take care of somebody who is supposed to be your man, yeah, that's going to be your son. Okay? That's not going to be your man. And any man who is being taken care of by a woman, I think after a certain period of time, there's going to be resentment there. Men don't want to be treated like babies. Men want to be men. Let's segue just a little bit. You know, Tasha posted a video yesterday, TMR. She had some of the clips from Chrissy's video. Did we not see how belligerent Rod is? I mean, he wasn't down and out. He was rude. I don't think he was intentionally trying to be overly rude to Chrissy. I think he was just drunk. But at the end of the day, what I'm going to say is this. He's a full-time student. Tiffy, give me just 1 second, okay? Rod is a full-time student. I don't know that he brings any money to the table. He is basically what's looking like kind of like a kept man. And not that Chrissy is wealthy, but if she has enough to pay for and support 9 children, then I'm assuming she has enough to take care of 8 children, 1 child that comes at various times of the year, and a whole nother adult. So what I'm saying is this. Men who have kind of relationshiped up, they have entered into a state of hypergamy with a woman who is doing better than them. I don't know, unless you are kind of a swindler. I think most men, when they start to wake up and see some of their self-worth being diminished, they get a lot of resentment. Men don't necessarily love being a kept man. And 1 more second, Jessica, the reason why I'm going to say that too, on top of all of that, is did we not hear him articulate that he had to put out some kind of stance? If you didn't watch Tasha's video, go check it out. He wanted to be clear he's not gay. So I don't know if there's been some talk about him being homosexual, but maybe questioning his manhood because of his association with Chrissy and how much of a ball buster she is. On top of her speaking and him just speaking over her and him just kind of like marginalizing and just kind of like, yeah, we just ate B-Love sauce and that was it and just done. Um, He was quite rude. And for a woman who is putting a man on your YouTube platform, basically brought your guy to work day, and he totally disrespected your platform, in my opinion, in terms of being drunk and his attitude. I mean, Chrissy, that just, again, like when that happened with Jasmine, that just was not a good look. Um, Jessica, how are you? What do you say? Jessica, you hear me? Jess, your mic is on. You might be on a delay. Oh, hey, Jessica, how are you? Your computer might be on mute. So if you've got me on your TV or something, put that on mute and just go through the computer, go through the StreamYard app. I can't hear you. So let's see. Make sure that at the bottom there's a mute, there should be a mute and a start cam. So if your mute is on, hit the mute. Let me play with the mute button a little bit. Okay, and then check the volume on your computer. I feel like I just heard something. Okay, just keep checking. I'm going to come back to you in just a minute. Just keep, and if you have to unplug and come back, but anything that you have on your, like on your Chrome right now, if you're attached to YouTube, just get out of all of it and just open up one Chrome tab and click on the link, and it'll take you into StreamYard. And then I would even close out that other Chrome tab, just so you have just StreamYard open, and then check your sound. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So, let's see. He probably get a little school. So yeah, that was weird. That was the first and last time Rod does that. She was pissed. Oh, I don't know that that's going to be okay. So yeah, last time maybe we'll see. Because again, we don't control these men. Men need to be men. If Rod cannot control his alcohol, Rod needs to control his alcohol, and Rod needs to not show up on Chrissy's channel like that. Chrissy can't stop him from that because they live together. And she can not go live when she knows that he's drinking. But if he wants to cut a corner, I mean, she put her office behind the kitchen. Hey, Margie Lee. I think I said hi to you before. I'm not sure. Hi to everyone who's come in before or since I was able to say hello to everyone. So anyone I missed, how are you? Thank you for joining. Ebony. I see a few names. Dr. Amira, of course, Deandra, Victoria Holiday. Thank you for joining us. So my husband knew from the beginning, I'm not paying half of anything. I'm not paying a bill, or kids will never see, or our kids will never see a daycare. So yeah, you're committed to stay at home momming. I mean, are they going to go to preschool, or you're doing all of the preschool until they go to school, or are you homeschooling? Um, I know sometimes people don't want their kids to go to daycare, but daycare and preschool, I mean, preschool is good. If you've got a bunch of siblings for your kids, then that's great. I have an only, and she needed preschool. Like what I mean? Like people need to be around people their own age, right? Or like, so she needed to be around some other kids as well. So, yeah, there's a whole segment. And if your wife, whatever you're like Naisha, like you're saying, if your cousin, whatever your cousin does, and that works for them, I think that's a very interesting, lifestyle. Um, there's nothing wrong with it. It's becoming more and more commonplace. Jessica, you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hey, yes, I can
Okay.
hear you. How are you?
Hey, I'm well. I was using my laptop, but I was like, let me just use my phone. So I don't know.
Okay.
That could have been the problem. So listen, I feel like I came in at a great time where you guys are talking about like high value men and all this kind of stuff and the importance, and you shared the Michelle Obama story and all of that stuff. I I just want some advice. That's why I
Okay.
called
Okay.
because I don't have a man, but
Okay.
I want a high value one, and I also like what you said about being in the right places. Like, go to the proper places. Like, don't just be, I don't know, where you're going to meet a raggedy or a dusty. So
Right. I mean, Michelle Obama was at work.
yes,
She was
that's
at work, and he just basically came to her. You know what I mean?
right.
And I don't know if you ever saw that movie with
I
her
didn't watch the
and
movie, but I need to.
okay.
But I did not watch the movie. But yeah.
So what do you do?
Okay. What my
I mean, you don't
actually
have to give us like a ton of detail, but what kind of, let's say, what type of work do you do? Are you a student or what do you do?
okay, my job title is I'm an educator, and
Okay.
I'm also a disability advocate. I,
Okay.
I I am also a student trying to get my doctorate degree, but that's pretty much it. So really, every day I don't necessarily have to go anywhere because I can work from home.
Okay. And so I mean, I'm sure like this is all taking into account the whole C-19 culture,
Yes.
everything that's been going on. I'm sure
Hmm.
it's not even worth asking. I was going to say, how hard has it been being single and ready to mingle in this quarantine?
That's been very very difficult. So I went to these stupid sites. I'm off of them now. And I actually did meet some really good people that I still talk to, but like as friends, but not as like real partners.
Tell me why.
Um, okay. Well, one, I feel like he needs to do a little bit more growing up. And
Mhm.
the other, he doesn't know what he wants in life. And also he's older than me, so he likes to like boss me around. And that's okay, but he doesn't know everything. But yeah.
So boss you around how?
Oh, you should do this and that, not that and that and that. But actually, there's a lot of things that I know a lot more than he does.
So he's really trying to be an advisor and you really hadn't asked him for any
Advice,
advice or okay. So he's acting as advisor.
and
Um
don't get me wrong, some of the stuff he says is actually right,
okay.
but it gets annoying sometimes.
Why? Because you don't believe him or you don't like him like that? Like at the end of the day, do you
Hmm.
like him or not?
I, I I do like him.
What do you like about him?
I like his how he makes me laugh so much. We really have good conversation, and when we hang out, it's a really good time. Like he's like could be best friend. So I do like him.
So, what is it that you don't like about him? You feel like he's trying to boss you?
Yeah, sometimes. And like literally, I'm telling you, he doesn't know everything. Like he will try
Who
to
knows
tell
everything?
nobody, but he thinks he does.
He says that?
No,
He
he
says, "I know
doesn't.
everything?"
No, he doesn't say
Or
that
he just kind of is puffed up in, "I'm
in that
super smart."
way. Yes,
Is he
yes.
does he consider himself to be a very smart guy, or is he just a know-it-all? Because know-it-alls
I
doesn't
know it
always
all.
mean you're smart.
Know it all. Know it all. I
He's a
don't.
know-it-all.
Yes,
So is
know
he
it
kind
all.
of a douchebag?
Okay, honestly, sometimes he can be a douche, but ninety
Okay.
percent of the times he's not. So I guess
So,
I could just let him go, but
okay. So this is what I was gonna say. Look, um, are you just kind of going out for you know what I mean? And honestly, ladies, when you're not used to dating, I mean,
Mhm.
look, take my advice, not take my advice, okay? We're also talking about C-19 right now. It's still a
Yes.
quarantine environment. But at the end of the day, the only way to really date is to date often. And you don't have to bring people home. It doesn't mean sex. It doesn't mean giving out your address. It means dating. It means meeting someone for coffee, meeting someone for a drink, being careful how you get there. If you got to go in an Uber and then go pick up your car out of a parking deck just so you feel comfortable with someone not knowing what you drive and
Mhm.
whatever, just be smart. Or,
Right.
you
And
know, I mean,
I've been
that's all you,
using lifts. I've been using lifts.
yeah,
And I
because you
don't
have
know.
basically a chauffeur. You have a chauffeur, and you can even take a lift to your car. Okay. You don't
Right.
have to have the lift pick you up, at your home. You could be in front of some random apartment or in front of your friend's house. Go
Right.
have a friend there, and you get in your vehicle. And when you get home, hey girl, I'm downstairs. Everything was good. I'm gonna call you in a minute. And you
Yeah.
just got out your lift, and because I mean, guys, don't forget to team up with your friends. If you're out here single, don't be out here single by yourself and have your friends not know your whereabouts, because
Yeah.
God forbid something happens to you. Someone needs to know something. And the scenario that I just mentioned, use your resources, use your network, because men who don't mean you well, yeah, they can zero in when you have like zero girlfriends. They can also zero in when nobody really gives a fuck about you. I'm sorry to
Mm.
curse, but it is what it is. They
Yeah.
can tell, and they know that no one's checking for you. Okay. So
Right.
don't make yourself out to be that person. It's dangerous,
And
especially for the wrong type of guy.
and
Okay.
that's why I got off the dating sites, because I felt like people could see that I was desperate. And I'm not desperate, but I kind of do want to be married. I mean,
Well, I
but you know,
appreciate the honesty, Jessica. I appreciate the honesty, because maybe you realize, you know what, I'm acting a little thirsty out here.
I did. So
Maybe
I was
I'm
like, I'm getting off because I feel like people could pick that up, and I don't want that kind of guy.
Well, like Nene says, shouts out to Real Housewives, the thirst is real. It's
Mm,
real. It
yes.
can be real. So, one thing I would say, and other people would say the same thing too, girl, if you're not interested in someone, just drop them. Because
Really.
if this guy actually really likes you and he is not spending his hard-earned money on you just because you're nice and you like to laugh, and he doesn't think he's going to get some one day, or he's
Hmm.
not, I don't know if do you kiss this guy at all? Do you guys like?
Yeah, but the
Okay,
thing is, he thinks I'm rich, and I keep telling him I'm not rich. My parents have money, so you can feel free to
okay.
spend money
So,
on me.
but that also alludes to he sees a woman with a certain standing, a certain social standing. So whether your parents have
Okay.
money, and it's like Lisa McDowell from Coming to America, her dad owned the restaurant in
Yes.
Queens,
Yeah.
or you are some black princess from somewhere. Okay, we're talking about working class rich. We're talking about rich rich. Okay,
Okay.
Prince Hakeem. Okay, whatever the case might be, he sees a woman with a certain standing. Now, does that makes you high value to him? But at the end of the day, if you don't really like him,
Hmm.
you need to let him go, because you're also blocking yourself from
Okay.
being able to fully invest in meeting someone else, because you don't want to meet a nice guy and you still got homie over here calling and talking about how he was kissing on you 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
when you meet. Because I've said this a million, you don't want to meet Mr. Right tomorrow and Mr. Wrong is still calling and you still going through the 30-day learning curve of, I'm not messing with you no more.
Okay.
Okay,
Let me.
stop the bleeding now. If you're not
I
interested in him, let him go.
Okay. Can I ask one more question before I have
Hmm.
to go back? Okay. I think you're right with that, but I mentioned that I was talking to this other guy.
Hmm.
And at first, I like really liked him so much. I mean, I was talking to him pre-pandemic, like we've been talking.
Okay.
And then there was things I was like, oh, never mind. I don't like you, whatever. But now he's like really trying to show up and take me to doctor's appointments and like take me places, talking to my dad and stuff. Should I give him more interest? I feel like he's a little too late, but maybe not.
How do you feel about him? Because I mean, the one thing that I'm not hearing, I mean, I
Mhm.
know you want to be married.
I do.
Do you want to be in love with the man that you marry?
I do. I would like to be like best friends. I would like, yes, in
No,
love.
okay, I didn't ask you if you want
Oh,
to be best
yes.
friends. I asked you, do you want to be in love? Do you want to love, not have love?
Hmm.
Do you want to be in love
I
with the
do want.
man that you marry?
I want to be in love with the man that I marry.
So do you feel that sort of love for him?
Can I be honest? I did at first, but then he started curving me. So I guess it come back, or I don't
Of
know.
course it could come back,
Oh,
but
okay, because I definitely did at
it could
first.
come back, but if you're not feeling it, it's not back.
Okay,
Like love isn't something that you just turn on and off.
I guess
Love is
so.
something, an energy that we have no control over. That's the best kind of love, when you are just like, I don't know what the hell. Now,
Oh,
that can,
Doctor Coeli says it. I'm rushing. Okay, so I need to slow down.
well,
Doctor.
look,
Uh-huh. I'm
it's,
34, doctor, and I don't have any kids.
so I don't know if she means rushing to be with this guy who's now back interested in you or
Uh-huh.
what. Um, but at the end of the day, the thing is this, don't, so to her point of rushing,
Mm-hmm.
forget about rushing. If you are not in love, if you don't feel love, you are not in love with this person, don't do it. I'm telling you, marriage is something that when you close the door, you open the gifts,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to get up in that bed. If you do not love that person,
Okay.
um, it's not easy to do.
Okay. Because
You know what
like
I'm saying? Like,
the
if you don't
example,
love that person,
then it's gonna be
um,
not okay. Okay.
having a relationship
Okay.
that is really based on a heavy amount of communication and respect and love, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to work.
Okay.
Um, my best advice to you, Jessica, is keep living your life.
Okay.
Cut the fat. Just cut it. These guys you're dealing with just to deal with someone, stop it.
Just stop it.
Because
Okay.
you are blocking your blessing. Because at the end of the day, you meet a guy you want to be with, you
Mm-hmm.
don't need to have to cut off two men.
Okay. Okay.
So let them go and then see what now comes.
Okay. I take that fully. So even with me not being on dating sites, like where should I go? I guess I could go to
Girl, you
church.
might be at Walmart one day. It doesn't mean that he's going to
Okay.
be working at Walmart. He might be
He just
coming
might
through
be.
Walmart to come
Okay.
pick something up, you know?
All right.
Um, you could be anywhere. You could be walking in the doctor's office. You
Okay.
really and truly, you will meet someone living your life.
Wow. That's deep. Woo.
Living your life is how you meet someone. It's not all about like the hookup. Um, it's it's living your life and someone seeing you and be like, Miss, excuse me, ma'am, can I
Mhm.
wait, what's your name? Can I get your number? Who
Okay. Because I'm
that's
writing that down. I'm sorry. I called to take notes. I need to know.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah.
happens just living your life.
Yes, because
Um,
like yeah. Okay. Okay. I see. The doctor said work on doing me. I okay. I can take that. Okay. Because
well,
I
and
do. There's also because I put my school on pause. I guess I could pick that back up. And there's also I want to take a class that gives me a certificate that would definitely boost my career and boost my pay. So yeah, she's right. Just work on doing
yeah,
me
I mean,
better.
you have to do things for yourself. Um, and grow as an individual. I completely agree. I would just say this: when you meet the right person, I'm telling you, this is what I'm gonna tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I had met a guy. This was years and years and years ago, um, and he really liked me. He had wanted me to move in, all that. He was older than me, and this guy was up in DC. This has to be almost 20 years ago now. Anyway, long story short, um, I told my sister, she met him. She thought he was nice. And I told her that he wanted me to move up to Northern Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And what did I think? And she told me, yeah, he seems like a nice guy, but because you are asking me, that's how I know
Oh,
you are not ready for him. Because when you know that you know that you know, when you feel, don't just look for that feeling. It's going to be an undeniable feeling.
wow.
But you will know that you know, and you will need no one's permission. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay. And for
Live,
both of these, I don't
live
know
your
them yet.
life.
So okay. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. Thank you
Well, let me
guys.
know how it works. I mean, of
You
course,
know I
obviously,
will.
as things go up, open up, there's more strategies. I mean, do I think you need to just be in the house on every Friday or Saturday night? Absolutely not. Go out for drinks with your friends. Doesn't mean you have to drink. Maybe you don't
Right,
drink
right.
alcohol. Get a
Yeah.
nice ginger ale with something in it. Get
A
something to
nice
eat.
Shirley Temple.
Whatever makes you happy, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying. But I told the ladies a long time ago, there's someone who comes to our chat all the time, T Loving and Living Life.
Mm-hmm.
T took my advice. She went to the grocery store dressed very feminine, looking
Okay.
pretty on a Sunday when men are doing their grocery shopping. She met a guy, and she had sent me some pictures, and she was in a pool in Las Vegas on her
Oh.
birthday where he took her for her birthday. The guy that she met in the grocery store and got dressed up.
Okay.
Now, do you have to be fancy? Do you have to do this, that, and the third? No. But sometimes when you are just living your life, you are looking beautiful.
Yeah.
Whether you just came from working out, I mean, it can happen at any time. Okay, you don't have
Okay.
to be anything. But I guarantee you, you are less likely to attract the eye of someone just rolling out of bed and not brushing your teeth. And you don't want that either. The guy
No,
who's
I
going to
don't.
love you will see you regardless. But do you want him to have the first meeting with you with your hair not fixed and your teeth not brushed? Just think of it from a you perspective. He might love you anyway, but do you want to remember, like, my breath
That
was
yeah.
my breath was just screaming and I looked like crap? There's no reason to be going out like that unless you absolutely had to. So I think it's just always important to kind of put your best foot forward, look nice, have a smile on your face, look open, look ready. I mean, it doesn't have to be desperate and thirsty. It just looks like
Okay.
someone who is happy and enjoying their life. As
Okay.
I'd stated earlier, one of the attributes of a high value woman is someone who is enthusiastic and has an exuberance. Exuberance is usually something that, like a joy.
Hey, let me
So,
ask you this in the
mhm.
chat too. What am I a high value woman?
You would know that. I mean,
Okay.
what do you think?
I would say yes. I mean I have degrees. Not that that doesn't mean anything, but I have degrees. I have a job. But see, my job don't pay a lot. Teachers, we out here struggling.
Mhm.
But so as far as money, I'm gonna say no. Like honestly, if I need something, I really do just tell my parents to cash at me money.
Right.
And
So as a woman, and I would look, as a woman, I would not value my worth based on your worth, on your net worth. That's not your
okay,
value. Your value, there are values to a woman that are not in a bank account.
okay,
Being a beautiful woman, yeah, that
okay.
goes a long way. You could have a lot of money
And
and
be
be an
mean.
ugg mug, and it's going to be hard for you to find somebody because they're like, woo, okay. Yeah, being attractive is worth more than how much you make at your job. So, girl, I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay.
Being appealing, someone who is charming, someone who has some conversation. What your education to me says is that you're an educated woman. You know some things. You should know
Yes.
how to carry a conversation.
Yes,
I would
definitely.
say because you've been in higher education and a
Right.
PhD track,
Yes.
you've been exposed to a certain segment of educated people. You
Right.
should have manners. I would say, I mean, all of the
Yes.
things that come
Okay.
with education, right?
Yes.
Um,
I guess
and
I was confused because I didn't know if high value meant rich. But as far as everything you just said, yeah, I do. I can carry a conversation about just about anything. I'm really kind. I love my kids. I mean, my students, but I do. And
so high value for a man, though, does
mhm.
come with money because a
Okay, because I
man
need
who
to
is
marry
high
up.
value, pardon?
I need to marry up. I need for my man to keep me just how my parents keep me.
And look, keep articulating that and don't let anyone
Okay.
tell you that that's the wrong
What
thing.
to do?
That's not the only thing because
Right.
remember to let love in. If love is part of the equation, then you can
Okay.
have both of those. I mean, it's not hard. I mean, there are people who
Okay.
marry rich guys every single day. And if they're not rich today, you might be marrying the next rich guy. I mean, you just don't know. Just because someone, you could be with, let's just say, hypothetically, you ended up falling in love with some teacher who's working right next door to you,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't know that he's working on like the next thing, like the next newest Kindle 5.0.
Okay.
Okay. So he's not only a teacher, he's an innovator.
Right.
And he
Okay.
just came up with this, that, and the third. How many people, um, uh, Jeff Bezos, okay? Jeff
Okay.
Bezos wasn't Jeff Bezos when Jeff Bezos married his wife of over 20 years. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You're
Okay.
right. You're right.
Bill Gates wasn't Bill Gates
When he
when
married
Bill Gates
Melinda,
married Melinda Gates.
it
Okay.
was
You
not.
don't
Okay.
know. Yeah. So if you have a man who wants to take care of you on a modest or on a average salary, if
Okay.
you are okay with that, do that.
Then
But
allow
being the
it.
woman that you are might fuel and encourage. There's a lot of times that men become their best selves when they have a good woman who is encouraging them, who gives them that energy, who helps kind of fuel the vision.
Okay.
A lot of men come into their own with that first wife. It gives them
Okay.
some energy.
Okay. I really needed this.
Yeah, so I mean, don't discount the guy who just started his landscaping business because yeah, he might end up being a millionaire. He might
That's
end up
true.
getting all the contracts for the golf courses and franchise and we don't know what he's going to do.
Okay.
Um you know what a guy who's got potential is going to look like. And if you don't, once you're at that point, you'll introduce them to your parents. But yeah, just
Yeah.
keep your eyes open.
Okay.
Be in the places, the business after hours, the mixers where
Mhm.
other professionals go. If
Okay.
you are the smartest and the brightest in the rooms that you're in, yeah, find other rooms. If you
Yeah.
don't see people that match up to you head and shoulders, other attractive women, other people who are dressed well, other people, who are not who and what you want to be around, exit. It might be a
Okay.
good time, but understand I'm just here to have fun. I'm not taking no numbers. I'm
Right.
just here to raise the roof tonight, and
Okay.
that's it. I'm not taking no numbers home.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
But also,
Yes.
you know, yeah, you were also there. So, you know what I'm saying? So, girl.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I think you're on the right track. But
Thank you.
keep in the forefront of your mind what you want. And
Okay.
honestly, if you are wasting time with men, just think of it as
I am.
you're as being
I'm
a
wasting
guy
time.
and a guy dating two girls that he's really not interested in. Would isn't he not wasting their time? So
Yes.
you're wasting these two guys' time, and especially if people like to act a little silly when you break up with them, go ahead and get
Oh,
through that curve
yeah.
of them leaving you alone.
Yes. Okay. And before I
Yes.
go back to the chat, I really think that Ty Cherie wanted to call in to talk about her lustful tactics.
Uh-oh.
She's gonna be mad at me. Okay.
Girl, just give your lustful tactics whenever you go out.
Okay.
Ty Cherie, the link is up top.
She's called Ty. But thank you, friend, and thank you to Doctor. I can't remember her name.
Dr. Amira.
Dr. Amira and everybody else, because
Yes.
I saw y'all's comments. Thank you so much. Seriously.
Yes. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys. I'm going back into the chat. I'm not going anywhere. So,
Okay.
okay. Bye. Thank
Take
you
care,
again.
Jessica.
Thank you. You
You're
too.
welcome. And Jessica, one last thing that I would say too, in terms of like the advice I gave, tea loving and living life, when I said get dressed up, go on a Sunday, whatever. This is what I have to say to that. Um, Men like women that look good. Do you ever see these ladies on the Real Housewives not be in an outfit? I mean, even when they're in a tracksuit, they're in an outfit. Okay. And not saying that you need to dress like you're in the episode of the next of Real Housewives, but when you put your jeans on, you put your cute flats, you put your nice blouse on, um, that every day you're putting in some effort to your look because you never know that grocery store you're going to, the library you go to, Um, you may leave your house every day at 7:30 and may be sitting at a light next to someone who leaves their house at 7:32, and you two are just at the traffic light all the time together, and you run into each other somewhere, and he knows who you are, and you're just kind of like, who are you? Um, and they can just speak to how beautiful you are every time they see you, or some guy who's had his eye on you at church, or someone who has been eyeballing you since high school. I don't know. But keep in mind that there are people out here who see you, who you don't see yet because it's not time. And you just want to be always putting your best foot forward, and always presenting yourself in a way that you are always going to attract the best, and that the lames and the schlumps, yet they know not to even bother you. Okay? Because that's when you are really doing something, is when the scrubs, yeah, they already just know, like, yeah, don't bother me. Like, they don't even want to bother you because they already know, yeah, I'm not qualified. They've already ruled themselves out. Okay, because they see you, they see how you move, and you aren't. I guess the one thing, when you identified that maybe some thirsty behavior, yeah, you have stopped the thirsty behavior. You got yourself off of certain sites for where thirsty, I mean, and it's not even so much thirsty. A lot of those sites are for hookups, and if you're not there for a hookup, lots of women say they're not up for a hookup, but they hook up nonetheless, right? Um, I would say, in terms of, yeah, being firm with your word. If you say you're not here for a hookup, don't go to places where people are there for a hookup, because no matter what you say, men will try you. That's just their job as a man, to try you. So you want to be firm with your word. If you are saying that you are just looking for a friend, um, you may meet a guy who is just looking for a friend. And when you fool around and fall in love, and he still says, I was just looking for a friend, I was never trying to be in a relationship with you, you can't get your feelings hurt. So you have to speak what you really want, and you have to, if you want to be a wife, I'm not going to say start acting like a wife. Don't give your boyfriend wife kind of benefits. It's okay to make dinner every now and again, but you don't have to be a wife to a boyfriend. You just don't. You don't. Period. And if your parents are still funding and footing the bill for you, yet they're doing that because they don't want you being bothered with a rusty dusty, and they are still investing in you, investing in your future, so that you are better than good. You got everything that you want, and you don't have to settle because you're not out here dealing with rusties and dusties. I think being a friend first is a groundwork for a good relationship, but make no mistake, um, I think having a good friendship and developing a good bond, I think, aside from that, jumping in bed, but I don't think there should be any gray area with a man who wants to date you. I don't really want someone coming to me who wants to be my friend. I want someone who wants to be my man. You know what I'm saying? So I think I get what you're saying, Miss Alexis, but from where I'm coming from, yeah, I don't want someone who wants to just be my friend. I want someone who, if I want this guy, and yeah, we are developing a friendship, we are developing a relationship, yeah, I want to get to know you. I want to have great conversations with you. I want to understand where you're coming from so we can really see if this physical attraction um, develops into like a into more, into actual, like, outside of a physical, but a more of a bond in the making, but yeah, outside of sex. So I think that it's really important. If a man wants you, yeah, don't friend zone me. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, don't get friend zoned. Don't get zoned in the friend category. Yeah, no. If a guy is interested in you, he needs to express, you're beautiful. I want to get to know you. It's up to you whether you take him to a bedroom, because it typically, yeah, it's all on you. So you guys start hugging, kissing, messing around on the couch. That can go real far, real fast. And right now, while it's Rona, I think this is like the best time to get real traditional on someone and just be like, yeah, I'm not doing that right now. Like, it's going to be like a COVID test. It's going to be a this. It's going to, you know what I mean? You don't want to put a whole bunch of obstacles in the way, but I don't think there's anything wrong with going out, having some dinners, getting some drinks, getting to know someone, um, having the intentions be clear, holding hands, stuff like that. But it doesn't necessarily, to me, mean friend zone. You know what I'm saying? I think that over time, because boyfriend, girlfriend, I think has taken on such a context of such a serious relationship. If a guy makes you his girl, yeah, it doesn't mean we're having a baby. It doesn't mean that, like, I got to take you home immediately on Thanksgiving. You're a guy I'm dating. We're calling each other. We are exclusive, and we are really seriously getting to know each other. Now, where it goes from there, does it increase with sex? Does it increase with spending nights? Does it increase with maybe we're going to move in? Yeah, over time, not a month, not because he's a dusty and has no place else to live. If a guy likes you, I think it's okay for a guy to like you. I think it's okay for him to talk to you a certain type of way as a man would talk to a woman who he's very interested in, and make you feel a way and make you feel like, oh my God, I get the butterflies and I'm having that feeling. I don't want to be around him alone because I don't know what I'm going to do. Um, I think that's very true, accurate, real feelings to have. And it's so good to have those feelings. Um, and from there, that's where you kind of allow things to grow. But don't be afraid, guys. Jessica, yeah, do you have any other women that you're dating? Figure it. I mean, if he's not your boyfriend and he says he's dating two other people, were you not just dating two other people? Are you not? You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to ask the questions. Have you ever been married? Are you dating anyone else? Um, what are your thoughts on marriage? Do you believe in managing your complete and total household, like in terms of all of the finances? Like, what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously, this is not first date. This is over time, whether over time is 6 months or a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get these questions answered. You are going to find out if your man is cheap. You are going to find out if he's loose with his word, if his word is not good. And then you're going to make decisions based on that. If you see that someone does not honor their word, if you met someone cheating, if he was attempting to cheat with you on someone else, you know what I mean? Like, sir, go handle your business and let me know when you're single. Okay? Don't stay friends. You don't have to take his calls. You don't. Period. If someone wants you bad enough, oh, he's going to move hell and high water to make shit happen. He will move hell and high water to get rid of so and so and make that over to come back to you the right way. And he's going to have a lot of respect for you. If you are willing to bend over backwards, as we see on these YouTube streets, if you are willing to tell stories and lies to make someone seem better than they actually are, girl, he's not only got you in the palm of his hand, he's got you wrapped around his finger, and he probably got you in a corner somewhere sucking on your thumb. Okay? So, guys, yeah, we had a pretty full conversation. We didn't do the deep dive. If you hadn't seen Toya's video, go check out Toya's video. She did a great video earlier today talking about this matter. If you have not checked out Tasha's video, Tasha put up a video regarding Strong Mommy Chrissy. If you have not seen the foolishness, the fuckery that is Rod, whatever his name is, Rod, like, not ready for YouTube prime time. Um, it's pretty pathetic. It's pretty pathetic. And Chrissy, that's what you wanted. So when you got all mad because people said Mr. Professional, who was married, by the way, as far as I know, allegedly. I mean, girl, that's what you chose. When you had nothing on your hands but space and opportunity after being done a certain type of way by BAM. And this is the guy that you selected for yourself. So, look, enjoy. But you can't be mad at anybody because we didn't pick him for you. You picked him for yourself. Okay? That's who you chose. Dr. Amira, absolutely. These women lead with their masculine energy. These women, all three of them, we've talked about this off and on for well over a year now. Women who are leading with their masculine self. I mean, look, a lot of women out here have had to manage households, and sometimes you're protecting the house, you are managing the house, you are funding the house, you are raising children, you are doing everything. So by necessity, a lot of women have had to kick into that male energy because you are managing a whole entire household by yourself, and that was not what it was. That was not how it was meant to happen, right? But in this modern society that we have, that is what is happening, right? At a certain time, when you meet someone who is on your level, who is ready to assume the responsibilities of whatever your household might be, you and a dog, you and a kid, you and 5 kids, you and 10 kids, whatever that man decides that he is going to assume the responsibility for that, then that burden, and not the burden of your family, the burden of the complete responsibility is not only on your shoulders anymore. You have someone who has become your help. Okay? Someone who is going to help you, your helpmate, right? Not helper, but your partner in crime, your spouse, your husband, the person that is weak where you are strong, and where you can be strong where they are weak, right? Your better half. Not the half that completes you, because you should be a whole person when you come to a marriage and a relationship. But that other half that does the jobs that just aren't for you in the house, or does those jobs that they want to do because they love you, because they made you their spouse, because they accepted your offer of marriage. I mean, that's really, guys, that's really what it's all about. Well, they've found partners in the past and have found some partners now. Do I think that they could be potentially in actual real relationships um where they are not where they get what they actually want, someone to take care of them, someone to manage, be the captain of their heart, and the leader of a household. um you got to let that happen. Now, the situation with these ladies is complex because they have children and they have fathers to think about, and one has a couple, several fathers to think about. Not to try and be funny, but that's just what it is. um you have to have someone who is willing to allow certain aspects of life to be led by their man. And I see no one at this moment who is, in my my YouTube streets kind of view of these videos and things that they put out, yeah, there's nobody. I see Chris, Hips talks a good game. I think Hips is of a certain age. He's growing. I just don't, he's just not there yet. I don't know why. He can start by getting a job. You can start by paying your child support. You can start by maybe getting a second job and helping Jasmine and get Jasmine to a point where she can do her vlogging and do what she does so that she can grow her business. He can get caught up in his child support and he can help take care of a house. Okay. But it's not going to be easy. You know, if he did those things, I don't know that he all of a sudden turns into high value. He just turns into higher value in the value segment that he is in. Okay. Doesn't mean, he might just be an average, he might graduate to just an average guy, like a guy who does what he's supposed to do. Okay. Um, I don't know. Rob, I don't know. I'm not sold. I just think he's got too many problems. Um, from the alleged background to this drinking. Drinking is never a good thing. And I don't mean just having a beer. I'm talking about the drunken, um, the drunken behavior. I'm talking about the decision making of that was a good idea, and the inability to control himself when your woman is working and you were invited on the platform and you're acting like a complete fool. Okay. Um, I don't know that that's a good choice. Now, Chrissy may beg to differ. I mean, she may love everything that he's dishing out, and okay, girl, because I'm not her and she's not me. What's for her is, I would say, I'm going to just say, I'm going to go out on a limb here. What's for Chrissy is definitely not for me. Okay, that is not a lifestyle I would be interested in. I was content to be alone until I was with someone who, it wasn't even a question. There was no question. It was natural. And when we were able to make this thing happen, it happened, and we hadn't looked back since. So um it is what it is. I just think that when you know that it's there and it's obvious, and there's not a whole lot that anyone can tell you. If it's me and you against the world, yeah, that kind of stuff is fun and it's very romantic. It's also dangerous, right? It's also dangerous. Thank you, Jessica. You're so sweet. A man that dated a lot. I girl, Olivia Pope. Absolutely. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. We've been on here a little bit longer than I'd planned on. I think you guys are awesome. If you have not liked this live yet, please do so. I would really appreciate it. It helps my numbers, and your girl needs that. So if you wouldn't mind going ahead, hit that like button, um, and share this video with your social media if you are able. If you're not, if you are on the replay watching this video from start to end while you are cleaning your bathroom, making dinner, getting ready to go to bed, whatever it is, if you watch this entire replay, I certainly do appreciate that. So all of your contributions are much appreciated. So thank you so much. Thanks, Lisa. Thank you, everyone. Guys, have a great afternoon. And I will see you guys very soon.